We all had an early vision of what our lives would look like, and then life actually happened. From marriage to motherhood, career dreams, and everything in between, this is Life Actually with Mary Belle.
All right, we're back again, part 2. We're not doing a full intro here because I left you hanging last week. We're doing our 40 things I learned in 40 years, and we're up to 21. Number 21, this is near and dear to my heart. Ice cream is always a good idea. I'm funny. Unless you're lactose intolerant or diabetic, in which case, please move to the next one. And actually, to be fair, a lot of my weight gain is because I am an emotional eater. So, like, I joke all the time. I wish when I was pissed off or upset, I had to go to the gym to, like, you know, get my angst out. No, even if Jay and I get into like a conflict, at the end of it, I'm like, babe, do you want some ice cream? Because I need to eat my feelings. Doing that has landed me in the position where I gained too much weight. So I'm not doing that anymore. Now my go-to, shout out to Sam's Club. They have a bag of frozen chocolate covered strawberries. $8 for a giant bag.
Oh, that cannot be good.
It
sounds delicious, but
I take 3 out at a time, and it's like a little bit of chocolate and 3 strawberries. How bad is it?
And how can you only take 3 out?
That's self-control.
Because I'd be like, oh, it's a fruit. I'm good.
No,
20.
I only have 3.
Let me throw 20 down.
Allow myself a little taste. Number 22, you're never too. I must have. I wrote all of these obviously when I was not on my health kick here. Number 22, you're never too old for a bowl of pasta with butter. I'm down with that. Right? I mean,
I'm definitely down with that.
You don't get better than a bowl of pasta with butter for comfort. Jay loves the Parmesan cheese and the black pepper in it too. Sometimes I like that. But number 23, many people don't end up in the occupation they thought they would in kindergarten. So, like, you know, when they all ask you, what are you going to be when you grow up? What did Marina say she wanted to be? I forget. I wanted to go to Harvard to be a hairdresser.
That was your really?
Yes.
Like, can you go to Harvard to be a hairdresser?
No, that's what my grandfather always used to say to me. He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to Harvard to be a hairdresser. What did you want to be?
I wanted to be a vet.
Really?
I loved animals. I wanted to be a vet. And then the very first time I saw a vet, and they put an injection into a dog for whatever. That's routine stuff, you know. I was like, nope.
I'm out.
Yep. I saw the pain that the animal, because they're scared. And,
yeah, think about how many animals you have to put down. No, thanks. Hard pass.
Yeah. Big hard pass.
No.
I figured that out pretty early on. Also, when I decided that, you know what, I can't eat animals anymore because I love animals.
Oh.
And that lasted a little. That phase lasted, maybe a couple of months.
I was going to say steak's too good.
Yeah. And then I was like, I got to eat.
Yeah. Boys got to eat.
Yeah. I'm just not going to kill it, but I will eat it.
Number 24, sometimes you need to dabble in 13 different jobs in 8 different industries before you figure out who and what you're meant to be. That is obviously a nod to me and my billions of, different industries and jobs that I had before figuring out that being an author is what I want to do and is my dream to do. And even still, this was 2 years ago that I decided I wanted to be an author. And now I just took a new work from home remote job that was presented to me, like basically landed in my lap. You never know what is coming down the pipeline. Like, you just don't. So say yes to things if they feel right. Don't feel like you have to make up your mind right now what's going to happen from now to next year to 5 years to 10. You have no idea. Just live like with an open mind, see what's coming, and just make the best decisions, obviously, for yourself as they present them. But the more variety you get, the more you really learn about yourself. And I'm a big, huge advocate of that. Number 25, the energy you put out into the world is the energy you'll receive back tenfold, right? If you're a miserable person, all you're going to see is misery. Like that's it. I don't even know. Like, do we even have to expand on that? If you go around and you're a miserable person, you will only ever see the misery and like the sadness and the negativity in things. If you are a rose-colored glasses kind of person, and I guess there is another fine line in this. Don't be like a head in the sand, like where everything's great all the time. It's not. But, being cautiously optimistic is a much better thing than just being like, that's going to turn to shit. Like, I don't like negativity.
Well, there is something to be said, and I can speak from personal experience. There's something to be said about having that positive outlook in life, because it not only does it project out, and you're absolutely right, it does come back to you tenfold, but it allows you to navigate through the harsher moments, the tougher times, in a much better way than if you're looking at it with a negative lens.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself is the most invaluable thing that I think I've learned
Yeah.
about being just positive in general and being
And
happy.
surrounding yourself with those people.
Absolutely, yeah.
When you surround yourself with negative people, like I leave those situations.
Well, that's what you
I'm
become. You'll
exhausted.
become that. Right.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. Hard pass on that as well. No vets and no negative people. Number 26, be kind to everyone until they give you a reason not to be. This was my big lesson from my daughter too. Like kindness first. And then if somebody is an asshole to you, obviously don't say it to her in this way. You know, but for me, if somebody's I will beat you on being an asshole back to you, but I am always kind first. Like that is a big thing for me. 27, don't lie. It'll rot you from the inside out. We spoke about this with our kid thing. Claudio was saying he's like this as well. Like we have really bad guilty consciences. Oh my goodness. Author. Whatever. We have a bad conscience. I can't even say that. This is what happens when we record 4 in a day. Once I get to the 4th one, I start getting a little woohoo.
A little loopy.
But yeah, lying, it's just, it sits there and it'll just eat away at you. Really horrible.
And worse, if it doesn't eat at you, that means that you're really rotten on the inside.
I agree with that.
I think that's even worse than
that actually is a good thing too, because certain times too you have to lie with certain, I don't know, maybe to make somebody feel better or whatever.
Well, we're not talking about white lies. We're talking about
bad lies. Yeah,
bad lies.
Yeah, I'm with you. Number 28, hard conversations are hard for a reason, but necessary 1,000% of the time. You will always feel better getting things off your chest rather than keeping them buried inside of you. And that's sort of goes along the same as lying. It's a different version of honesty. If you feel something, say something, especially if you think it's going to be like, I think this has a lot to do with marriage. Like you could sit there and say like, I don't want to start this conversation, so I'm not going to say it. All that does is delay it until a week, a month, a year from now, where it just all becomes this volcanic eruption of shit that you didn't want to say because you didn't want to start a quote long conversation. You could have gotten it over with probably in an hour or two at the time, but now it's this big mountain that I feel like people avoid.
Plus also full of emotion, which at that point is even worse.
Right.
What is your take on withholding of the truth and lying? Are they the same thing, or do you see them as different? And I'm sure that you can find a whole bunch of different parameters that can apply one to the other. Yeah. But in general, if we generalize.
Well, when you said that, I just thought of my husband, because there's been a couple times where like he's really great. He does not have like a diarrhea of the mouth. Like he would never, if I came out in an outfit, Jay's never going to say, are you wearing that? If I ask him like, hey baby, which one do you like better? He will certainly tell me. Or if I ask him, hey, do you like this? He will certainly tell me. He does not inject himself without me asking him. And so I think that's what you're saying. Lying versus, what did you say it as?
Withholding of the truth.
Withholding of the truth. And I do think that there is.
It's weird because it's a little bit of a slippery slope.
Yeah.
But like, so that same example, right? Oh man, I don't want to get too deep into this, but that same example, if you not saying, hey, partner, I'm not even going to look at you. Hey, partner, that does not look good on you, versus me saying, oh, you look great. Because you look great in anything you wear. And maybe in my mind of withholding the truth of maybe not approving of what you're wearing, I'm building you up to make sure that you feel confident knowing that, other than you walking out there looking like, whatever. But if it's something that you just maybe didn't feel right in or comfortable in, is it a bad thing that I'm saying, you don't look good, but instead I'm building you with some confidence saying, yeah, you look great?
It's saying that you look great when you don't feel that they look great?
Well, I mean, because that's subjective. Looking great is subjective. Isn't it subjective? Like you can walk out in your outfit and you can be like, oh, I don't really like how I look. And then I look at you and I'm like, you look fine. You look fine. You look great.
Well, that's different. If you really truly
and
feel
I'm not talking
that
about
way.
I'm not talking about the crazy like, oh well, you're walking out with your belly showing out or your ripped jeans or out of. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about you have two outfits. They're fairly similar. Is one maybe better than the other? Maybe, but it's such a small like little.
No,
like,
they both look great.
Yeah, they look good. So me saying that you look great in both, and you wanted to hear like a very like, oh well, this is so much better than the other.
No, I would say
know,
as if you really honestly felt that way. Like if this was Jay and I'm like, babe, do you like one better than the others? Like, no, I like them both. Okay, no problem. Thank you. If he were to, if I were to ask him if he likes something, he's like, yes, it looks great, and he was just trying to like rush us out the house, then I would not enjoy that very much. I want you to be honest. If that's me personally, if I'm asking you your opinion, I want you to be honest. If I did not ask you your opinion, I'm not entirely sure I would want your
But
feedback.
opinions are like rear ends because
Yeah.
everyone has one and they all stink.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If I
So-
asked you, I want it because I trust your opinion. If like you were sitting here, I was like, Claudio, which shoe do you like better? And you tell me one. What I've learned as a human is that if I'm not sure which one you chose, that means I like the other one better. If you chose the one that I like and I feel great about it, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, okay, I like those too. It's almost like a social experiment that depending on how you answer, it'll help me actually understand which shoe that I liked better in the first place. Right?
That's such a terrible thing to do. And I'm just resonating with me because
Yeah.
but
We don't do it on purpose though.
I know, but that's such a terrible thing because now you're putting all this onus on the person. And when you say speak honestly, like, I mean, I don't dress in women's shoes, so like, how am I gonna know what shoe is better?
Well,
or more
I think the key is
I always
that
lead with like, hey, which one's more comfortable? Unless if I really don't like something, then I'll be very vocal. But if it's kind of they look the same to me, then it's like, well, which one's more comfortable? Go with that option. Versus like, but that's such a tough position to put somebody in that maybe doesn't have all their eggs in that one basket to be like, oh, I feel so opinionated about this one option versus this other option. Damn, what do I do? I don't know.
I think you might be overthinking it a little bit.
Well, until you give the wrong answer, and then who's overthinking?
Well, no,
what?
but and to be fair, the person who's asking the question, if you give me the wrong suggestion, I can't be like, "Oh, you're an asshole. I like these ones better." Like that would be rude, right? But like if you said something,
have you ever not been excited about the response or the choice that was given to you?
well, actually, it's funny because if Jay says like this shoe. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I actually like this one. His response would be like, okay, then why the fuck did you ask me?
Right, exactly, 100%.
But I don't know that until he selects something and then it's not resonating with me in the moment. So like I said, it's like a social experiment. I need your help to be able to suggest one of the things. And then my response to that will then help me understand which one I actually wanted to wear. Prior to asking you, I did not know. Do you know what I mean? You're just helping us along. You just got to be along for the ride in some instances.
I like leading with another question, like a follow-up question.
See, I fucking hate that.
Well, which one do you like better?
No, and absolutely.
Once I get your leaning, then I can answer.
Nope, out the window you go. No, which one do you like better? Obviously, I'm asking because I just want to I want to like gauge what you're saying with how I feel when you say it. I think that's a big.
That's tough. Think about the male population that has to answer those questions. That's
well,
tough.
that's what I'm saying though. As long as the person who's asking the question doesn't sit there and like berate you for answering quote wrong, then we're fine.
By the way, I really hope I don't get attacked by all your listeners because I am extremely supportive and I'm always trying to give good advice. I'm just sharing a little bit of my inner concern.
I don't think any of my supporters will be upset with you. I love actually I like when you're talking. When I have to scuttle this camera and I have to only talk to myself, I feel so weird. So again, also after this episode airs, we're going to finally have guests. So I'm very excited for that. So I don't have to do this. But anyways, we did hard. Number 29, learning how to communicate properly is the key to solving almost every problem you'll ever have. Big, huge proponent of that. A lot of this is going to end up going, I think, into marriage and relationships. So I'm just going to roll through them because they're all going to be related. Number 30, marriage and relationships won't always be easy. In fact, they're really, really hard, but they should always feel worth the struggle, and each struggle should bring new strength to your relationship. Again, that hopefully goes without saying. If you're with somebody who feels the same way about these things than you do. Like, you can't fix any relationship if you're in a relationship with somebody who gives two shits about it and does not want to put this hard work in. If you're with somebody who also wants to put the hard work in to communicate, to make your relationship better than ever, then yes, like you're going to go through struggles, but at the end of all those struggles, you'll find new strength in your relationship. That I've lived this and it's beyond true. 31, never stay anywhere where you're not valued or you're not learning something. And that's relationship, that's career, that's friends. People should appreciate you. People should know what you bring to the table. You should also do the same for others. If you don't find value in other people or you're not very appreciative of what they're bringing to the table, perhaps it's not the person for you. But also be around people. They say that a lot. You should never be the smartest one in the room. Always be learning things from other people.
So I heard this quote, right? And I don't know who said it. I think it may have been 50 Cent. But I had to like kind of look it up really quick so I can kind of give you this little thing, right? But it goes along the lines of, actually I pulled it up, so let me not lie. A bottle of water can be 50 cents at a supermarket, $2 at the gym, $3 at the movies, and $6 on a plane. The same water. The only thing that changed its value was the place. So the next time you feel like your worth is nothing, maybe you're at the wrong place.
Yes, I've seen that before.
That is one of the wildest things that when I saw it, anytime anyone has ever felt undervalued, if you read that, if you recite that, even to yourself, holy moly, it changes like perspectives and it changes so much because it's so easy to fall into a place where you don't feel good.
Yeah.
And boy, to get out of that is so tough.
And then when you're around people who really do value you, you're like, wow, shit, that's what that's supposed to feel like.
Yeah, 100%.
I love that. Yeah. And I've seen it before too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's famous. I just, when you said the question, I was like, oh my God, I know this thing, and I just wanted to say
that was good.
So hold on.
That was perfect. 32, tell the people closest to you that you love them and appreciate them while they're still here. That is huge for me. When I turned 40, my brother wrote me the sweetest letter. And he joked and he said, you're always forcing us to write these things for everybody else's birthdays. So I assumed that you would want the same done for you. And I never had even thought about it like that, but it absolutely is true because what people tend to do is you wait until somebody is dead before you stand there in front of people and say how much they mean to you and what you thought of them and all the wonderful things that they did. Like, I don't want to do that. I'm not a big person. Like when people die, like I love my grandparents to death. I have no desire to go to cemeteries and stand by a grave. I celebrate and honor the people that I love that are not here anymore by remembering them with my 5,000 pictures, my memories, my grandmother's china, crystal, funny stories, and everything I know that I said to her or tried to write in a note or whatever before they left. And so if you have important people in your life, say I love you. And they have a meme about it. Like, say it so much it's weird. Like, I fucking love you. Like, that is who I am as a person. And I live every day like that. I love you. I love you. I love you. And here are all the reasons why I love you. And that's another thing that I say when I'm 80, or if I was not here tomorrow, I would want nobody who's close to me to ever even wonder what I felt about them. Because I want to be honest and tell you, Claudio, thank you for everything that you're doing for me. I think you're fucking great. Okay? Like, important stuff here. Number 33, take pictures, a lot of them, video too. And if anyone makes you feel bad for it, tell them to kick rocks. I hate when people are like, how many pictures are you going to take? As many pictures as I want, because, and my mom used to say this to everybody, whenever anybody wants a picture, they always ask my mom for it because she's the one who has it.
Right.
And like, we forget things. Like I forget a lot of stuff. Whenever anybody's like, oh, when did this person get married? Let me look through my photos, my photo albums, because all the memories are there. Right. I love it. And then I make like, for people's birthdays, like the video slideshows that we were talking about, like that's it. And everybody's like, oh, are you really enjoying the moment because you're taking a video? Yeah. Like I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh yeah, let me just take a video. I'm doing both. Right. And then I have it for later on. As opposed to looking at it as it's happening and then I got to remember it. I don't remember shit anymore. Like you get to this age and it's like our memories are fleeting, I feel.
With this particular subject, I guess you're preaching a little bit to the choir because that is my job. I'm a photographer.
Yeah, all those videos.
So I take videos, I take pictures. That's what I've made my career out of.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
So love it.
Yes, 100%. I'm on board.
Number 34, life is what you make it. If you don't like something, change it. I've already spoken about that to death. At least I'm a very consistent gal, right? 35, everything comes in waves. Sometimes the waves are calm and peaceful. Other times they'll knock you on your ass. Learn to ride them accordingly. And that is life. The moment that you think that you're like, oh God, yeah, everything is firing. Like everything is going the way that I need it to go. You could wake up the next morning and it just shit hits the fan. And I think that's just another version of what number 1 was, which was you can't plan for everything. Life is unpredictable. That's another way of saying the same message. Number 36, the sun comes back out after every single storm. That's a really big one. You know, like you could be in like the deepest, darkest places and just not happy. And it, you know, certain times it could take you longer to come out of the hole. But it always comes back out. You know, sometimes you need help finding it, but.
So I don't think this is a quote. I'm about to like give you some philosophy right here. After every storm, if you notice, after every storm, no matter how bad the storm is, it's always the most beautiful day right after.
Yeah.
Like the sun is out, the clouds are there, it's blue, it's gorgeous.
I think also you mentally look at that day and you're like, God, it was raining for so long, and you appreciate it more. So even if it was a day that like the sun is only barely coming out, you look at that day and you're like, wow, look, the sun is actually coming out and I feel better about this day because you went through the hard days prior of like, say it was raining for 3 days in a row, as opposed to if it was really, really, really sunny and then it was like the sun was behind the clouds for one day, you'd be like, it's kind of a shitty day today. Is it a shitty day, or were you just used to all the really, really bright, perfect days? And that's all the same, you know, whether it's the weather or whether it's actually what you're going through in real life. Number 37, if it makes you raise an eyebrow, wrinkle your nose, or shake your head in disgust, it's not worth your time. That's a huge one for me. I've said this over and over. If I'm like hanging out with people and then I get in my car on the way home and I'm like reviewing like what happened and I do this is the mayor's face for, nah, that was not it for me. And again, that's the really good part about getting older too. You look at your time in a different way. I don't have that much free time, so I don't want to spend it with anybody who makes my face do that. And I love knowing that about myself and Jay too, because we just are really selective with our time. Number 38, learn to say no thank you to things you don't want to do and don't feel bad about it. Right? Claudia, I'm just dropping bombs on Claudia right now. Okay.
Well, it's the hardest thing to do, at least for me. Some people it's easy. I don't know. That is tough.
Well, it depends on who it's
that is tough.
To. Yeah.
Well, just in general for me.
Yeah.
That's the tough
You're a
one.
people pleaser?
I didn't think I ever was, but I think I struggle saying no to people. For sure.
Well, you have a little bit of a dual thing going on here because you're very honest.
Yeah. I think the honesty part really stems from my youth.
Okay.
And not that I'm not honest now, but I'm definitely way more mindful to not hurt feelings.
Okay.
Whereas when I was younger, I don't think I really thought about that too much.
All right. I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a tough one. That's,
yeah.
You know, I hear you. Talk more on it, please.
Well, saying no thank you to things you don't want to do. I mean, I'm a little bit of a people pleaser too. And it could be even like, this has been actually happening lately. My parents are 2 hours away. My sister lives closer to them. My brother lives closer to me, but like they've had family dinners a couple weekends in the last like month or two. And my parents are fantastic. They're not like, well, we're having family dinner and you're not here. Never in my life. And like me and Jay will also not go to a family dinner because we just want to sit down and do nothing. Like maybe the next day we got a big day, or maybe we were out the day before, or maybe I have work I have to do. Maybe I'm trying to get writing done. I haven't cleaned the house, laundry. My family is so fortunate that we see each other so often that like a random family dinner where like everybody else is getting together and maybe Jay and I are not there, they want to just make sure that we know that it's happening. You know, like, hey, we want you to know that we're doing this. If you want to come, great. If you can't because you're too busy, also fine. So that's probably cheating a little bit. It's easier to be like, I would love to go, but we're not really able to. Whereas when there's different people, maybe it's friends and they're like, hey, we're going this way. We're going to dinner on this date. And me and Jay look at each other. Maybe we're like, wow, we really wanted to just have like a date night for ourselves that night. It's hard to say no because then you feel like you are lying if you don't say, hey, we'd love to get together, but we had a date night planned. Or are you going to lie about it? Which again, you can't lie about it because then I can't take pictures or like, you know, you don't want to post something. So it's certainly hard. I'm not able to do it all the time either. But I think the point in me saying that is if you need somebody to give you permission that it's okay. And again, like we've said all the time, it's the way in which you say, hey, no, thank you. I would love to, or maybe even if you wouldn't love to, like I'd love to, but I have too many things I have to do. Like you could say it nicely. And I think if somebody gives you shit for it, you could go back to whatever number that was. Like they're not the people for you, you know? Number 39, when people show you who they are, believe them. That I wish I learned and understood when I was 20. I would have saved myself from a lot of heartache and disappointment. That's a little bit of like being a positive Paula, where you want to find the good in people, even when they show you oftentimes who they truly are, but you want to believe that they're a better person than that. That could be a family member. That could be a close friend. That could be when you're dating. Believe people. That's a don't believe what I say, believe what I do sort of thing, right? People can, and I'm a writer, like I could wow you with words, but like who am I as a person? Am I doing things that I say that I'm actually going to do and following through with them? Or when we're talking about things, am I just, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then I don't. Like, that's a full of shit person. I don't have any time for full of shit people. So, all right, we're at the end here. Number 40. This is a shout out to Mom. Again, it's my girl. Never let anyone dull your shine. And that is something I will teach my daughter from now until the end of time. You could be too much for a lot of people if you're a certain personality, but that's on them if they're trying to dull your shine. Be true to you, be loud, be funny, curse a little bit. Like this is all like a lot to me. Like sometimes when I like let out an F-bomb here or I do something, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't say that. Why the fuck not? Like, right? Like I'm 40 years old now. I pay my own mortgage. I could say whatever I want, like. And that is part of Mary. Like that's part of me. I am loud and yeah, I have my opinions and I'm funny and whatever. I have a lot to say about a lot of different things and I do enjoy myself as a human being, and I'm so grateful too for all the people who, like I've said over the years, are very like complimentary of different things. Even you, like this is a great podcast, and yeah, you don't have guests, but like you're very engaging and you're very fun to listen to. Thank you for that. I just want to surround myself with good people who believe in me. And remind me too, don't dull my shine for anybody. I'm going to keep rolling on our podcast journey, on my author journey, on my work journey, on my mom journey, all of these things. And I hope a lot of that stuff resonated with you guys. Like I said, that was a blog that I wrote when I turned 40. I resurrected my blog. I can't remember. I think that was the last entry in it. I don't know. That's one of those things too. I start it. And then for me to write a blog entry every week on top of everything else, I'm like, how the fuck am I going to do that? So anyways, super excited because next week is going to be first guest. And I'm going to have 2 female guests. One is my very best friend. We're not going to just sit here and talk about our college memories. We're both grown-ups who went through a lot of stuff together. She is formerly corporate, like Goldman Sachs corporate. And now she's a life coach. She took a big, huge leap of faith, career change. And actually Louisa Velarde, who I spoke about earlier too, who's a fabulous friend of mine. She's a boss babe. I don't know if she loves that phrase. I don't even really love that phrase, but she's a photographer, a writer, a jack of many trades. She's fantastic. Also Italian American. She's going to be here as well. I don't know who's going to go first, but looking forward to finally having people in the chair next to me. And thank you, Claudio. As always, follow Claudio Kai Visions on Instagram. His productions are fantastic. He's actually, I don't know, we could cut this. Are you telling people that you're moving into a different studio? Okay. So he's moving into a new studio space, which I'm super excited to see. So this is the last time you're going to see Mary Belle Life Actually, which is not as, we've only done however many episodes this is here, but we'll be in a new space next week. So if you watch along on YouTube, you'll be able to see that. But give him a follow, Kai Vision, CAYI Visions on Instagram. Hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I will see you next week.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, follow the full journey on social media at the handle mary.belle.books. And if you have need for audio-visual content creation and recording services, Kai Visions is located in Stamford, Connecticut, and can also be found on Instagram at CAYI Visions.